A proud moment in Kuala, Lumpur, President Cyril Ramaphosa honored by Malaysia's oldest and most prestigious university, Universiti Malaya. The recognition celebrates South Africa's long-standing commitment to international cooperation, justice and equality. Delivering a public lecture after receiving the doctorate, President Ramaphosa reflected on the centuries-old ties between Malaysia and South Africa, ties forged through struggle, culture and shared humanity.
The bonds that bind our two nations together are not only bonds of friendship, they are bonds of kinship, of ancestry, of history. They are bonds that go back several hundred years. Today we pay tribute to the rulers and the peoples of the Malay-Indonesian archipelago, whose exiles, workers and scholars helped to build the South African nation.
The president traced the deep roots of the Cape Malay community to the Malay-Indonesian archipelago, noting how those early connections shaped South Africa's values of tolerance and human dignity. Ramaphosa says South Africa and Malaysia's partnerships remain central to the global South, especially as both nations chair major global forums, South Africa at the G20 and Malaysia at ASEAN.
At a time of global disorder, the countries of the global South must evoke and revive and further embrace the spirit of Bandung to chart a new course for our shared future. At a time when suffering, dispossession and denial of dignity persist, at a time when greed has become the order of the day, and at a time when unilateralism has become the order of the day, our two countries are called upon to together work towards a future that is more equitable, more humane, and that respects the dignity and worth of every human being.
The president also paid tribute to Malaysia's solidarity with the Palestinian people, commending Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim's support of South Africa's genocide case at the International Court of Justice.
We pay tribute to the principled solidarity of the peoples of Malaysia with the oppressed and suffering people of Palestine. After decades of dispossession, repression, and oppression, the people of Gaza are facing genocide as we speak. We cannot but be moved to action by the slaughter of tens of thousands of civilians, forced displacement, deliberate starvation, and the destruction of homes, schools, hospitals, places of worship like mosques and churches, and other essential infrastructure. We welcome the ceasefire deal brokered by President Donald Trump and supported by a number of countries in the Middle East and beyond, including the return of the hostages, the release of Palestinian prisoners, and the resumption of humanitarian assistance. However, we are concerned that this ceasefire is being undermined by the continued assaults on Gaza and the West Bank. And we say this must stop, and it must stop immediately to give dignity to the people of Gaza. As the international community, we must make every effort to ensure that the peace deal provides a path towards Palestinian statehood and self-determination. We must insist and pursue the goal of a two-state solution on the basis of the 1967 borders, with a Palestinian state existing alongside and in peace with the state of Israel. This is the only solution to that conflict. This is truly the spirit of Bandung, solidarity of conscience.
As he concluded, Ramaphosa called for renewed collaboration in education, trade, and climate justice, anchored in shared values of peace and progress. From the struggle for freedom to a new chapter of global partnership, South Africa's relationship with Malaysia continues to thrive on principles of solidarity and shared destiny. I'm Batlali Pele, SABC News.